In our last video, we took a look at what's going to be the new Titan gate for our throne room. I was so excited about this piece of the diorama, but only got around to unpacking and dry fitting it. Well, since then I have been very, very busy. To start off construction on this monster FDM print, I needed a suitable base for it to sit on. I decided that I wanted the floor of the gate section to be different from the wall sections that sit either side. For the wall sections, I'd mainly opted for Zone Mortalis tiles, which are great, but I wanted the gate section to have a different feel. Reason one was to break up the throne room a little bit in terms of style, and second was to give myself a challenge to see what I could come up with. To prepare for construction, I needed a step to raise my gate so that it would sit level with the Zone Mortalis sections either side. To do this, I decided to use some Adeptus Mechanicus walkways as a base. I've used these pieces throughout the build due to their versatility and the fantastic amount of details they have on them. In all fairness, a lot of these sections will mainly be covered by the gate, but there'll be just enough of them poking out to look interesting and give the appearance that the pipes and cables continue under the gate. I've also invested in, thanks to my Patreon supporters, a bunch of plasticard and plasterstruct pieces. I have for the most part neglected plasterstruct with this project, and I definitely regret it after seeing what I could achieve with it. I glued down some embossed plasticard sheets in the style of checker plate to give the impression of a vast metal floor in front of the gate. I know a lot of scratch builders already use these, and they've been around for quite a while, but as usual, I'm late to the party. On top of these sheets, I laid down some strips of plasterstruct to cover up any gaps and make a grid section. Once the strips had dried, I used a selection of different sized rivets that I picked up from Zynga Industries. I have no idea whether that's the correct pronunciation of that company name, but the product is great. You get a selection of resin rivets and bolts that look really good as little diorama and scenery building details. I opted to use the bolt-shaped ones to mark out connection points on my plasterstruct pieces. I applied these bolts very carefully with tweezers, and besides one or two pinging into the void, I would say the operation was mostly successful. I wanted to add some plastic tiles to my gate section to sit on each side of my new checker plate floor. For this, I turned to my trusty Imperial Sector box set. Regular viewers of this channel will tell you I've used about 5 of these box sets so far in the build, and I'm happy to say that this might be the final one. I said might. We did have to fire up the production line again and get each of these strips of tile cut into individual pieces so I could use the 2 specific tiles that I needed. The process involves scoring lines with a scalpel between the tiles until they're loose enough to be snapped apart. It's a straightforward technique, albeit time consuming. Once I had a suitable amount of tiles, I began arranging them and gluing them to the base of the gate. Like I've done in other areas of the build, I used no more nails to secure my tiles. The adhesion is very strong and durable, which is great for when I'm moving sections around and have a clumsy moment. I also needed to trim the skull emblem off of every other tile to make sure these would sit flush, which was just great. Working on this section did give me the perfect opportunity to use some old etched brass aquillas as floor details. I've had these for quite a long time, but never really had an occasion for them to fit in properly, so this turned out to be a perfect fit. They are, however, a little bit fiddly, and I was yet again reminded of how sausage-like my fingers are. To embellish this section further, I had a good route through the bits box to see if I could find any more pieces that I thought would lend themselves well as details. I ended up utilising a bunch of Baneblade armour pieces and some little vents that I found. I noticed that I did have to be a little bit careful not to make this section look too busy so that it steals attention away from the rest of the diorama. After using a bit more plasticard to fill in a few odd gaps, this is what we were left with, and it was time to give the whole thing an undercoat of black primer. The sun was actually shining for once, which was brilliant, but it did spark a little bit of panic when the plasticard flooring started to bubble up due to the heat. This led me to drag the whole thing back indoors as quickly as possible to get it out of the sun. Luckily, once out of the sunlight, the plastic flooring shrank back to its original form, but not before being accompanied by a lot of colourful language. Once the disaster had been averted, and I regained my composure, I started to work on the individual FDM pieces that make up the gate. For this I got my hands on some plastic primer to give every piece 2 or 3 good coats before any paint touched them. Some of the pieces have a few print lines which needed to be covered, and I figured that several coats of primer should do the trick. I did attempt at sanding a few pieces down, but realised that the process was going to be far too time consuming and far too messy. Probably best not to have FDM plastic everywhere. Once each piece had been primed, I gave it several coats of black and grey primer. To answer your question before you ask it, no, there is no method to putting grey primer underneath black primer. I just wanted to make sure each piece had as many coats as possible. The undercoating process took me about 2 days to make sure everything had an even coat, and to be honest, it will probably still need a bit more paint at a later stage. Yes, as per usual, I completely underestimated how long it would take to prepare this beast, but I think that's been the case for most of the project anyway. When the pieces were fully dry, I started to affix each piece to the wooden support using no more nails. I again chose this specifically so that I could make sure each piece was exactly where it needed to be before letting it all cure. Any instant bond adhesive would have forced me to make sure every piece was perfectly aligned first time around, and I can assure you I wouldn't get that right. After the gate had been constructed, I left the section to cure overnight before moving on to the next task. When I reached out to Franky, my master gate builder, I specified that I didn't want the gate to take up the entire wall section, as I wanted a way to tie it in with the existing sections either side. I asked to be left with just enough room to fit some wall panels above the gate, which would allow me to maintain the running theme of the throne room. I returned to my go-to Sector Imperialis box set to use yet more wall sections, which I lined above the gate. This is where I encountered a unique opportunity to give this section a bit more flair. Since Franky had designed the gate with a stone shelf at the top, I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to put in a balcony. I will apologise, I'm not good with architectural terminology. I know that stone shelf is probably not the right description, but that's what we're going to go with. Thankfully I had lots of balustrade pieces still left, so I carefully glued them to the top of the gate. I'm really happy with how this section turned out, and from a miniatures perspective, this must be the best view in the house. As I still had some room above, instead of opting for the same style, I decided to use some Zone Mortalis wall sections above the Imperial Sector ones. After some experimenting, I discovered that I could alternate between full-length and half panels to give the wall a more unique look. What I will have to do in the near future to finish this gate off is to add some pieces found in the Gang Stronghold set to match the metal girder that runs across the top of every wall section. This part of the diorama in terms of building has probably been my favourite, and Franky's Titan Gate is definitely doing all of the heavy lifting. I'll leave a link to Franky's design work in the description so you can check it out for yourself. All that's left now is to get this gate in place and take a look at it. This is definitely the final touch that the diorama needed, and goes a huge way to selling that sense of scale and making the throne room feel enormous. We still have a lot of work ahead of us in terms of painting, and maybe a little bit more construction, but for the most part we're pretty much fully built. Only took what, 4 years? If you want to support the project, you can check out my Patreon and Artis Opus affiliate links below. Other than that, subscribing, liking and commenting go a huge way to helping get the project out to a wider audience. Finally, I have a new members giveaway this month that can be found over on my Patreon page, where you could get your hands on Inquisitor Croyle and his giant horse, slash woodlouse thing, or whatever the hell it is. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video.